got this. Okay, so this lesson today is about food and meals and how to talk about food and meals. So dalam tajuk ni, dalam pelajaran hari ni, we are going to focus on countable and uncountable nouns. Okay, dan juga determiners. So ada dua item kat sini. Pertama kita akan belajar apa itu countable dan uncountable noun. Noun ni kata nama. Countable maksudnya boleh dibilang. Uncountable maksudnya tidak boleh dibilang. Maksud boleh dibilang ni maksudnya boleh bilang dengan nombor. Kalau kamu masih ingat lagi masa tahun 4 saya pernah terangkan benda ni. Bila sebut boleh bilang dengan nombor. Maknanya awak boleh letak nombor 1, 2, 3 dan seterusnya di hadapan kata nama tu. Contoh apa contoh? Contoh kalau kereta, boleh tak kita letak 1 kereta, 2 kereta, 3 kereta di hadapan perkataan kereta tu? Boleh tak? Puan? Boleh tak? Boleh. Tapi kalau air, boleh tak kita letak 1 air, 2 air, 3 air? Boleh tak?
Boleh.
Air. Water. Boleh kita letak 1 air, 2 air? Boleh bilang macam tu? Air? Tak boleh kan? Awak kena, kecuali air tu diletakkan di dalam satu container, satu bekas. Contoh air kita letak dalam botol, barulah kita boleh bilang 1 botol air. Kita tak bilang air, kita bilang botol. Jadi air kat sini adalah termasuk dalam uncountable noun. Yang tak boleh dibilang dengan nombor. Yang kereta tadi kita boleh letak nombor dekat depan dia, itu dikira countable. Okay, itu secara ringkas. Lepas ni awak akan tengok lagi dan lebih faham. Okay, itu pertama yang kita akan belajar hari ini. Countable dan uncountable nouns. Nah, specifically kita nak fokus pada kata nama yang berkait dengan makanan lah. Sebab tajuk kita health, food and health. Okey, dan yang kedua kita akan belajar ini macam mana nak gunakan determiners. Determiners ni secara mudahnya maksud dia pembilang. Kita nak bilang jumlah kata nama tu ataupun makanan tu ataupun apa-apa sajalah objek. So kita ada satu penjodoh bilangan ataupun beberapa penjodoh bilangan yang sesuai untuk countable dan yang sesuai untuk uncountable. Di antaranya lah some, any, much, many and a lot of. So ini kita akan fokus hari ini. Macam mana nak guna some, bila nak guna some, bila nak guna any, bila nak guna much, many dan juga a lot of. Okey, kita teruskan.
However, in our lesson today, our language focus will be on countable and uncountable nouns, as well as the determiners such as some, any, much, many, and a lot of. As usual, before we begin our lesson today, let me communicate with you first the framework of our lesson. First, we shall determine which food is countable and uncountable, and we will discuss the rules after that. Next, we shall discuss on the rules of using determiners in addressing the quantity of countable and uncountable nouns. Finally, we shall practice together the use of determiners on the countable and uncountable nouns.
Okay, ini aktiviti yang kita akan buat hari ini. Pertama, determine. Determine maksudnya menentukan. Menentukan makanan mana yang termasuk dalam kata nama yang boleh dibilang dan makanan mana yang termasuk dalam kata nama yang tak boleh dibilang. Okay, itu yang pertama. Kemudian yang kedua kita akan belajar undang-undang. Discuss on the rules of using determiners. Macam mana undang-undang dia, syarat dia nak guna determiners, pembilang tadi, penjodoh bilangan tadi untuk kita gunakan kepada makanan yang countable dan juga uncountable tadi. Kemudian nombor 3, ini adalah latihan. Latihan macam mana nak menggunakan penjodoh bilangan ni, determiners ni, kepada nama-nama yang boleh dibilang ataupun yang tak boleh dibilang. Itu 3 benda yang kita akan buat hari ini.
Without further ado, let us move on to the first activity of our lesson today, which is to look and determine which food is countable and uncountable nouns. Now, let's take a look at these pictures and also the table.
Okey, sebelum kita teruskan video ni, saya nak tanya, nak test dulu. Ikhwan. Hello Ikhwan. Can you respond Ikhwan? Ada tak
Ya,
Ikhwan?
dengar.
Okey, good.
Dengar.
Saya nak tanya ni. Saya nak tanya. Okey, sebelum tu okey. Countable maksud dia boleh dikira. Uncountable maksud dia tidak boleh dikira. Bila masuk boleh dikira ni, saya ulang sekali lagi, boleh dikira dengan nombor. Boleh dikira dengan nombor. Can be counted with number. Maknanya awak boleh letak nombor depan dia. 1, 2, 3 dan seterusnya lah. Yang countable tidak boleh dikira, maksud dia tidak boleh letak nombor depan dia. Depan dia tu, depan pada kata nama tu, kalau kita letak nombor, pelik jadi. Contoh air tadi. Tak boleh letak 1 air, 2 air. Okey, sekarang. Ikhwan. Dekat bawah ni ada banyak makanan. Apple, ada orange juice, egg, flour, pasta, sweets, water and snacks. Snack bukan ular. Snack ni makanan ringan. Snack. Sebut betul-betul. Jangan sebut snacks. Snack. Dia ada S-N-A-C-K. Snack. Dia dalam sikit. Kalau kita belajar tajwid, cough. Cough. Snack. Snack. Dia dalam sikit. Okey. Ikhwan. Apple ni masuk kat mana Ikhwan?
Countable.
Okey, sebab apple boleh bilang 1 apple, 2 apples. Okey, good. Very good. Orange juice.
Orange juice uncountable.
Okey, kalau dia orange juice tidak duduk dalam gelas, kita letak dia uncountable. Sebab kalau dalam gelas kita tak bilang orange juice, kita bilang gelas. Faham tak? Okey, gelas tu countable, gelas boleh dibilang, tapi orange juice tak boleh dibilang. Okey, good. Uncountable. 8
Countable.
countable. Yes, kita boleh guna number N8, 28, 38 dan sebagainya. Okey, flour, tepung. Flour.
Uncountable.
Yes, correct. Unless kalau dia duduk dalam bekas, kita bilang bekas dia. Kalau untuk tepung tu sendiri tak boleh dibilang dengan nombor. Pasta, mie ni, jenis mie ni.
Uncountable.
Very good. Boleh tak bilang mie? Tak boleh bilang. Biasa kita bilang pinggang dia. Sepinggang pasta. Tak? A plate of pasta. A bowl of pasta. Kita tak bilang pasta tu. Kita bilang bekas dia. Sweets.
Countable.
Countable. Very good. Water. Water senang je. Apa dia water?
Countable.
Uncountable. Snacks.
Uncountable.
Countable actually. Dia countable. Kita bilang ni sebab kita bilang 1, 1 snack, 2 snack dia boleh bilang. Boleh bilang. Okay, let's look at the video. Let's watch the video.
We are going to group these pictures according to its category, whether it's countable or uncountable. So we have apple, we have juice, egg, flour, pasta, sweets, water, and also snacks. So let's begin with the apple. Is apple a countable or uncountable noun? It's a countable noun. How about juice? If juice is not placed in the glass, where should it be? Is it countable or uncountable? It should be in uncountable. How about egg? Egg is still well in its shape, so it should be in countable as it can be counted. Next, flour. Is flour countable? No, it's uncountable. How about pasta? Can you count 1 pasta, 2 pasta, 3 pasta until the end of the world? No, so it's uncountable. How about sweets? Can you count 1 by 1? Yes, you can. So sweets are countable. How about water? Can you count by 1 water, 2 water, 3 water? No, you can't. So it's uncountable. And last but not least, how about snacks? Yes, you can. As you can see from the picture here, there are a few types of snacks. Therefore, you can count the snacks by its types. So, it's countable. So, did you manage to get all these pictures correctly grouped according to its category? If so, congratulations. Now,
betul jawapan Ikhwan tadi. Congratulations Ikhwan. Okay, I think you have watched the video. Okay, let's look at some more. Macam mana nak tahu makanan mana countable, uncountable? Okay, how do we know? Macam mana cara nak kena pasti dia?
Now, how do we know if the food is countable or uncountable? Let's look at the countable here first. Say it's an apple. How many apple can you see here? There's only one. So in English we say one apple. Anything that is well in its shape and can be counted, then it is countable. Apple is a countable noun. So when we have another extra apple, it becomes 2 apples.
Okay, tadi saya perlu beritahu sedikit peringatan. Satu-satu benda kalau dia dalam bentuk dia yang sempurna, well in its shape, maksud dia sebut tadi well in its shape. Maksudnya bentuk dia sempurna. Apple tu sebiji. Dia tidak dipotong-potong ataupun dilenyek-lenyek hancur. Tu kita kira dia countable, boleh dibilang. Tapi kalau apple ni kena langgar di lori, contoh langgar lori penyek atas jalan tu berterabur, boleh tak kita guna dia sebagai countable? Tak boleh lah. Dia kena well in its shape. Dia punya clue dia ialah well in its shape. Okey, tengok saya bagi ayat yang saudara sebut tadi. Dia sebut well well in its shape. Ni dia punya keyword dia. Kalau dia berterabur, hancur tu kita tak masukkan dia dalam countable. Dia kena guna uncountable punya determinants. Okay. So it should be well in its shape. Sempurna. Sempurna. Okay. Okay, next kita tengok lagi.
Remember, only for countable nouns, when it is in plural form, most of the countable nouns will be added as at the back of each noun. How about uncountable then? Uncountable, say, if you look at this water, can you even count the water? Can you say 1 water, 2 water, 3 waters? No, you can't add s at the back of water because it's uncountable unless you put the water into bottles. Bottles can be counted, right? So, it becomes...
Okay, tadi saya lupa nak tahu. Kalau countable, bila satu, 1 apple. Kalau dia lebih daripada satu, cuba tengok pada kata nama apple. So, kita akan tambah s. Tambah s ataupun ada sesetengah kata nama, kita tambah es dan juga ies. So, ada tambahan pada ejaan dia. Untuk membezakan dia daripada singular satu kepada plural more than one. Okay. Tapi dalam uncountable noun, dia dalam bentuk mana-mana pun dia tetap ejaannya sama. Water tak akan jadi waters. Okay. Jangan tambah s pula dekat water. Sebab water uncountable. Dia tidak ada perubahan. Dia banyak sikit ke banyak ke dia tetap water. Yang ada perubahan ialah dia punya bekas. Bottle, kalau satu bottle saja, kalau dua bottles ada s. Okey, boleh faham Okey, tengok.
2 bottles of water. Only then you can make it as countable because bottle itself, it can be counted in terms of quantity. Now, let us move on to the second activity of our lesson today, which is to know the determinants for quantities of countable and uncountable nouns.
Okey, tolong fokus ni. Ini sangat-sangat penting ni. Macam mana nak guna penjodoh bilangan ataupun pembilang kepada nama-nama, kata nama yang countable dan juga uncountable. Macam mana cara nak apa penjodoh bilangan ataupun determinants yang sesuai kepada dua-dua bentuk kata nama ni.
Let's take a look at this table again. This time we are still using uncountable and also countable table. However, I am going to group the determiners according to each group. Say, how much pasta is there? Pasta is uncountable, right? So when we want to make a question asking about quantity of uncountable nouns, we will need to start with how much.
Okey, di sini dia sebut kalau kita nak bilang ataupun nak tanya soalan berkenaan dengan kata nama yang tak boleh dibilang, uncountable. So kita kena start dengan sekejap dengan how much. How much. Kita tak boleh guna dengan how many. Okey, how much sebab dia uncountable, kita guna much. Okey. Dan kemudian bila uncountable, dia tak kira dia banyak mana pun, dia akan guna verb to be is. Okay, how much pasta is there? Dia tak guna are, walaupun dia banyak, sedikit ke, dia tetap guna is. Okay, tengok.
And it always ends with the word is in the question. So how much pasta is there? So say, if the pasta is in a very big quantity, you can say, there's a lot of pasta. There's a lot of pasta.
Okey, begitu juga kalau kita nak buat ayat, dia panggil ayat deskriptif. Kita nak kata ada banyak pasta. Walaupun banyak, dia guna a lot of. Kalau kamu perhati kat sini, dia tak guna are, dia guna is juga. Ini there ni, there's ni datangnya daripada perkataan there is. Ni asal dia. Okey, asal dia there is, kemudian disingkatkan dia jadi there's. Okey, dia tak guna there are walaupun banyak. Okey, ni untuk uncountable noun. Untuk uncountable noun. Kalau faham Okey. Jangan pula nanti orang kata banyak kena guna there are lah sir. Tak. Kalau untuk uncountable, tetap is. Banyak ke sikit ke is. Tapi kalau countable, bila satu, kita guna is. Kalau lebih pada satu, kita guna are. Kita tengok lagi.
You cannot say there are a lot of pasta because pasta cannot be counted or uncountable. Next, how about if it's not in a big quantity, somehow it has a moderate quantity? Now you have two options to say this. First, you can say there's some pasta, or you can also say there isn't much pasta.
Okey, ini kalau jumlah dia, excuse me. Alhamdulillah. Okey, kalau jumlah dia kurang sedikit daripada yang ni, so ada dua pilihan. There are two choices for you to make sentences on this quantity. Awak boleh guna there's some. Okey, ni there's some pasta. Maksudnya terdapat sedikit pasta. Ataupun awak boleh guna juga there isn't much pasta. Tidak terdapat banyak pasta. So ada dua pilihan. Awak boleh guna pilihan yang pertama, there's some pasta, untuk menggambarkan jumlah ni sedikit, dan juga awak boleh guna there isn't much pasta. Okay, ada dua pilihan. Saya boleh guna yang positif, boleh guna yang negatif. Ini positive statement, ini negative statement. Boleh faham tak? Zulaikha? Boleh ya? Okay. Ada soalan boleh tanya terus. Syifa ada, Balkis ada, kalau nak tanya boleh tanya. Okay, kita continue.
So either one of these two sentences signify the moderate quantity of the pasta itself. However, take note that when you want to use some, it is used in affirmative sentence, whereby when you use much, it must be used in a negative sentence.
Okay, so tengok tadi dia kata kalau nak guna some, guna dalam affirmative. Saya silap tadi, bukan deskriptif. Affirmative. Yang maksud dia positif lah. Affirmative. Kalau nak guna much, kena guna yang bentuk negative sentence. Okay.
Last but not least, now the plate is empty. There's no more pasta. So how do you say it? There isn't any pasta.
Okay, kalau jumlah barang tu dah tidak ada, zero, none. So boleh guna there isn't dan guna any. There isn't any pasta. Maksud dia tak terdapat sedikit pun pasta. Mana ada habis dah. Okay, so tengok di sini dia guna a lot of. Kalau ada banyak, sedikit, there's some pasta ataupun there isn't much pasta. Kalau tak ada terus. So kita guna there isn't any pasta. Okay. Begitu pasta ni adalah mi tadilah. Boleh guna ni boleh guna untuk kata nama makanan yang lain jugalah. Yang tak boleh dibilang. Okay. Ini contoh diguna untuk pasta saja ni. Okay. Next kita tengok.
To show that the plate is already empty, you can't see any more pasta on the plate. Moving on to countable, the same question will be asked, which is, how many vegetables are there? We know that vegetables we can count by.
Okay, dekat sini diguna many. Many sebab apa? Sebab vegetable. Kata namanya ialah vegetable. So vegetable dia termasuk dalam kumpulan kata nama yang boleh dibilang. Countable. So dekat sini bila banyak, how many, banyak, dia guna are. Okay, dia guna are. Sebab vegetable banyak kat sini, guna are. Kalau banyak tadi uncountable, banyak ke sikit ke, dia guna is. Tapi kalau countable, banyak dia guna are. Okay, kita tengok.
In numbers. Therefore, anything that is countable, we need to use the word many when we want to ask for quantity, and followed by the verb to be are.
Okay, so ingatan satu lagi saudara beritahu, kalau kita nak tanya soalan berapa berkenaan dengan satu-satu benda, satu-satu makanan yang kita nak tahu jumlah dia, so selalunya kita akan mula dengan soalan how many lah. Kita tak kata berapa sedikit, kita kata berapa banyak. So how many. So bila guna how many, automatically kita akan guna are untuk kata nama yang countable. Okay.
It is totally opposite to the way you use it in uncountable. Say, if you have vegetables in a very large quantity, how do you say it? You can also use a lot of, but you need to use are because.
Okay, kalau perhati kat sini, dekat sini pun diguna a lot of. Tetapi cuba tengok verb to be yang dia gunakan. Kat uncountable dia guna is, dekat countable dia guna are. Sebab ini countable. Countable bila banyak guna are. Dekat uncountable tak kisah banyak ke sedikit guna is. Okay?
Vegetables are countable. So when it's more than one, automatically we use the verb to be are. So there are a lot of vegetables. A lot of here means banyak. Next, how about now it becomes moderate quantity? It's the same as uncountable. We have two options to say it. First, you can say there are some vegetables. Or if you want to use negative sentences, you can say there aren't many vegetables.
Okay, so dekat kata nama yang boleh dibilang sama juga kalau jumlah dia kurang daripada ni, mana agak sederhana, sedikit, kurang sedikit daripada ni. So ada dua pilihan kamu nak nyatakan berkenaan dengan jumlah makanan ni. So boleh guna there are some vegetables, are. Dekat sini guna are, dekat uncountable tadi guna is. So there are some vegetables. Ini dalam bentuk affirmative, dalam bentuk yang positif. Yang ni dalam bentuk yang negatif, negative statement. There aren't many vegetables. So you can use either one. Boleh guna salah satu ni. Contohnya kalau orang tanya, how many vegetables? Okay, kita ada 10 minit lagi. Itu sempatlah. Okay, there are some vegetables. So kalau orang tanya awak, how many vegetables are there? Kat dapur, kita kan awak jadi chef lah. So awak nak cakap, tak ada banyak dah. Ada sikit je. So you can choose. Boleh guna yang atas ni atau juga yang bawah ni. So ikhwan, contohnya orang tanya, how many vegetables are there? You can answer, oh there are some vegetables. Or you can also say there aren't many vegetables. Tak banyak dah. Tak banyak dah sayur. Ataupun ada sedikit je sayur. So boleh pilih. Boleh pilih cara yang satu ataupun cara yang nombor dua ni. Okay, next one. Kalau tak ada langsung macam mana nak sebut?
It's the same meaning. It is just that one is in affirmative and one is in negative. How about if the basket is totally empty? Means that you can't see any more vegetable in there. You can say there aren't any vegetables. Alright, so these are the determiners that you are going to use in this lesson to ask or to tell the quantity of uncountable and countable nouns. Alright, so based on the explanation just now, choose the correct answers to conclude each of these every sentence to test your understanding. Number 1, we use much, many with uncountable nouns. So which one?
Okay, wait. Okay, I'm going to erase this first. Okay, let's do some exercises.
Is the correct answer. Uncountable, remember, you couldn't.
Okay, we use much, many with uncountable noun. Much ke many? Zulaikha. Dengan uncountable kita guna much ke many? Hello Zulaikha. Kasif Zulaikha, Kasif. Ada dua orang Zulaikha kat sini. Kasif Zulaikha. Which one do we use? Much or many?
Much.
Kalau much, yes, very good. Uncountable kita guna much. Okay. Okay, next.
Count, so we use much. Number 2, we use much or many.
Okay, this one lawan dia lah. Dengan countable kita guna Auni Shifat. Kalau nombor 2 ni, we use much ke many dengan uncountable noun?
Many.
Many, very good.
With countable nouns. Anything that can be counted in terms of numbers, we can use many when it's in plural form. Number 3, we often use any, much, and many in questions. And
Okay, we often use any, much, and many in questions. And bila masa kita guna any, much, many dalam soalan dalam bentuk apa? Negatif ke afirmatif? Afirmatif ni positif lah. Positif. Bila masa kita guna any, much, many ni dalam soalan yang berbentuk negatif ke afirmatif? Yang ada is ke yang ada isn't? Yang kita guna any, much, many ni. Tak ingatlah. Kalau kita nak kata tidak ada sebarang makan apa nama tu air di atas meja. There isn't any water on the table. So kita guna isn't. Isn't tu negatif ke positif? Isn't tu.
Negative.
Negative, yeah. So any, much, many ni kita guna dalam soalan dan juga dalam negative sentences.
remember just now we have one sentence that is using any. It was used together with negative sentences. There isn't any. There.
Kalau dalam affirmative sentence, dalam ayat yang positif, kita tak guna any, much, many ni. Kita guna apa? Kita guna some. Kita guna some. There's some water on the table. There's some apa lagi? Pasta on the table dan sebagainya. So kalau affirmative kita guna some.
Aren't any. Number 4, we use some, any, and a lot of, many for countable and uncountable nouns.
Okay. Yang mana kita guna untuk kedua-duanya? Countable dan uncountable noun. So, some kita guna untuk dua-dua. Any kita guna untuk dua-dua. A lot of dengan many. Which one yang kita guna untuk kedua-dua kata nama?
A lot of.
Yes, very good. So a lot of kita guna untuk dua-dua. Cuma kita tukar dia punya verb to be saja. Verb to be, kalau yang uncountable kita guna is, kalau countable kita boleh guna is dan juga are. Biasanya guna are lah. Kalau a lot of are lah kalau countable. Okay. So a lot of.
So which of these three determiners can be used in both countable and uncountable nouns? Some, yes, to show that it's in moderate quantity. Any, to say that when there is nothing left on the plate or in the basket, like what we've seen in the examples just now. And also a lot of, to indicate it has a very large quantity. So the answer here is a lot of. It can be used for both countable and uncountable nouns. Now let's move on to the final stage of our lesson today, where we are going to practice using the determinants that we have gone through in the previous activity just now. Now let's fill in the blanks and underline the correct answers. Number 1. How meat do vegetarians eat? They don't eat any, much, many meat. So what should we fill in the blank for this question?
Okay, what is the answer for this question? How meat do vegetarians eat? They don't eat any, much, many meat. Okay, so kita nak letak apa kat sini? Kalau dah bentuk yes. Sebab meat boleh bilang tak? Tak boleh kan? Daging tak boleh bilang. Dia kena ada timbangan. So kita guna how much meat do vegetarians eat? So they don't eat. Kat sini nak letak apa pula? Any, much, many. Much jugalah. Okay, dia makan sedikit.
Question. Meat, is it countable or uncountable? It's uncountable. So where it's uncountable and we want to ask about the quantity of the meat, we have to use much.
Very good.
So as vegetarians don't even eat meat, so we should say they don't eat any meat.
Okay, sorry, my mistake. Vegetarian memang dia tak makan langsung daging, dia tak makan langsung. Vegetarian ni orang pemakan sayur, dia tak makan benda-benda yang berdarah. Yang ada darah dia tak makan. Okay. So ni orang vegetarian. So bila dia tak makan langsung, kosong lah maknanya. Dia tak any lah. They don't eat any meat. Mereka tak makan sebarang daging. Okay, bukan much, bukan many. Okay, next.
Number 2. How vitamins are there in white rice? There aren't some, much, many vitamins in white rice.
Okay, vitamins. Boleh bilang ke tak? Vitamins. Hello. Siapa ni? Nak tanya siapa ni? Ikhwan. Vitamin boleh bilang tak? Can we count vitamins? Okay, kita ada 1 minit lebih lagi. Okay, kita tengok apa jawapan dia.
Now vitamins we have a few types. A, B, C, D, E, K. So these are the 5 to 6 types of vitamins and we can count by its types, right? We can use many when we want to question about the quantity. So they aren't. When just now under countable nouns, the only determiner that we can use with negative sentences is many.
Okay, so this is negative sentences. Negative sentences kita cuma boleh guna many. Much sebab vitamin ini boleh bilang, tak boleh guna much. Some ini adalah untuk affirmative, untuk yang ayat positif. So ini kita guna ini ayat negatif, kita guna many. There aren't many vitamins in white rice. Tidak terdapat banyak vitamin dalam nasi putih.
There aren't many vitamins in white rice, which has the same meaning as there are some vitamins in white rice. But since the sentence here using aren't, we have to use together with many. Number 3, how fat is there in chocolate? There's a lot of many fat in chocolate. Well, you know that fat is uncountable, so automatically we have to put much. And in chocolate, we know that